What's up, guys? Anton here from dropshiplifestyle.com, and I wanted to just turn on the camera real quick, record a message for you that hopefully will help you with motivation and really being able to do the work that needs to be done to build something great and actually appreciate what you have. Now, I'll just say before we get into this is just a talking head video, right? There's no fancy graphics on the screen or anything, so feel free to minimize this, open another tab, do work, do whatever you're doing, unless you want to look at my face, which if you want to, hello. So what happened to me recently that I realized is I went through a period of about 2 years, which correlates with when COVID started, right? And I went through this period of really doing work and going through the motions that I know and that I've been doing for over a decade. Things like getting suppliers, building stores, getting traffic, optimizing for conversions, reviewing KPIs, making things better, cutting what doesn't work, doing more of what does, right? Just doing business. Now, for me, ever since I started, even since I was a kid, I enjoyed the game of business and everything that I did as I went through the motions. I was just always looking forward to, not so much because I love the work, because I do, but really because I always understood and appreciated what that afforded me, what that led to. The freedom to work 30 minutes a day if I want to. The freedom to bring my laptop to Thailand and live there for 4 years and do the same, right? Things like that. The rewards that come from business, that wasn't the only motivation for me doing it, but it was something that was just constantly there in my mind, something I always appreciated. Now, looking back, right, when COVID first started, again, probably 2 years ago now, a little bit more at the time I'm recording this. What first happened, as everybody knows, is things really changed, and what we all thought were things were going to really change for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then life would go on as per usual, right? So when things first changed, for me, I really didn't mind it. I didn't really think about it. My normal rewards that I give myself and my family, they just kind of, were put on hold, right? Things like the travel, things like the experiences, because it's a few weeks, it literally, there was no thought about it. It was just, okay, fine. Then what happened is, okay, it's not going to be 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to be a few months. Okay, fine. Didn't change anything either. No problem, right? Let's sacrifice what we have because we're going to do our part and things will get back to normal, right? Again, this isn't even in terms of business. This is in terms of the lifestyle side. The business side, I just continued to go through the motions, continued to do everything as per usual. Then those 2 or 3 months became 6 months. Those 6 months became a year, became 18 months, went into almost 2 years now, where I had, what's the best way to describe it? I had almost forfeited the rewards, right? Because not just for me, but for everybody, they just weren't there anymore. But instead of having that mindset of, oh, it's just temporary, I just almost forgot about them. I almost forgot why I was doing what it is I do, and I would continue to go through the motions. Now, again, the motions lead to similar results, which is the beauty of this, but that, what's the best way to describe it? I obviously didn't script this out or anything, but the gratitude, I guess, or the appreciation for the lifestyle slowly disappeared over those 2 years because I wasn't living the lifestyle that I built for myself, that I built a business to allow to happen, right? And over time, I just continued to go through the motions, do the same thing day in and day out, make the money, spend time, enjoy it with my family. I wasn't depressed or anything like that, but there was just a total different outlook on what I do this for, what comes from doing the work. Now, the reason I'm sharing this is because it's very possible that if you're out there and you've built a business or continue to run a business for these past 2 years, you might be in the same exact place. And I'll tell you about what snapped me out of this and what I'm doing about it and what has really helped already. And hopefully this will help you. And by the way, if you've never felt like that, then, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. You don't need to watch this. You could exit out, maybe go watch a video on my top 10 niches for dropshipping in 2022. I'll link that one up. Maybe that one will help you. But what I realized, right, is a couple things that happened to me within a 1 to 2 week period that snapped me out of this. So I'll share those first and then share what I've done since then. So the first thing was I have my grandma, that lives in the area, and she lives in an assisted living home. Now, it's because she just can't take care of herself, right? She's too old, she's too weak, she needs help to do day-to-day things. And because of COVID, I hadn't been able to see her for almost 2 years. There were no visitors allowed. So basically, where she lives reopened up, and she needed to get some dental work done. And she's too weak to obviously get in a car by herself and whatnot. So I said, okay, I'm going to go with my mom. I'm going to help to, pick her up, get her in the car, get her out, put her in the dentist chair, take her out, do all this stuff. So we go there, we drive to the place where she lives. And the way that that place is set up is half of it is assisted living, which is just basically old people that need assistance to do day-to-day things. And the other side of the building is what they call memory care. And these are people that basically have dementia and or Alzheimer's that are losing their minds. And even standing outside that building, something in me really clicked because the noises I heard coming from the memory care side really they scared me. It's people that aren't dangerous or anything like that, but they're people that have lost their minds. Some of them are in their 80s and they are making sounds. They are it's these almost terrifying things coming out of it. And I feel terrible for them. I'm happy they're not by themselves, but it snapped in me that I am currently 37 years old, right? And for my whole life, I've built businesses so I can have the freedom to live the experiences. Again, not about money, but have the experiences that to me make life worth living. And I realized that, guess what? And call it a midlife crisis. I don't think it's that because I'm not going out and changing anything drastically, but I realized that possibly in double my lifespan, maybe I lose my mind. Maybe I'm in a place like that and maybe everything I did doesn't matter anymore. Now, that's fine, right? I'm not saying I need to leave a legacy, but the thing that scared me is I realized for 2 years, I went from experiences being the priority in my life to almost forgetting about them out of the fact that we couldn't do them, right? Couldn't travel to certain places or it was just so restricted, it didn't seem worth it. And that put me in a place of, okay, things are back to normal now or as close as they're going to be. And I'm not going to let another year pass or 2 years, possibly 20 or 30 years, like some people do, where experiences are forgotten. Because again, this channel you're watching right now, it's called Dropship Lifestyle. The way I build my businesses are about that lifestyle. And if you're watching this, I think you're probably the same. So what I realized from that is don't let the experiences pass and build that in to routines and to your reward systems. And again, I'll talk about how I've done that with my wife again just recently, but I'll share the other thing that really made this clear to me, again, all happening within like a week to 2 week period. The second thing is the war in Ukraine, right? Which is obviously terrible. Nobody wants war. It's a joke that in 2022 that's happening. But I have a good friend of mine. You might know him. He has a huge YouTube channel now, Johnny FD. You could find him. He bought a condo in Ukraine about a year ago, lived there with a bunch of great Ukrainian people. And I watched as, seeing this like insider view through his videos and what he shares. Within a couple of week period, people went from living their normal lives, experiencing what they want to experience, and they all had it taken away from them. Some people were able to leave. Some people are staying and fighting. Some people have no choice because they have no money and they lost all their freedom. They are stuck. And that scared me too. Not that I think that's going to happen where I live in the States. Who knows, anything could happen. But the fact that someone's freedom, even outside of health, can be taken away from them within the snap of a finger because some crazy guy decides he wants your country now, that scared me too. So scared me in the sense that I realized that while you have the freedom, while you have the health, you need to enjoy it. And if that's not motivation enough to have rewards from what it is you're doing, then really nothing else matters. Because money, it's great, right? You can make $100,000 a month, right? Build a business a year from now. Let's just say you're doing $100,000 a month, even in revenue, and you're taking out 20 to 30K a month from the business. You're working 30 minutes a day. Okay, awesome. But if you're not living the life you want to live, if you don't define what it is you want from your business, from your time, from your money, then does that matter? And my answer is no, it doesn't. Because anything, your health and your freedom can be taken away from you. And while you have it, you want to make the most out of it. So what I did to basically get out of this is first that mental snap was enough to trigger it all. But from there, I sat down with my wife and do what we typically do every year, which is we write out our goals. And goals for us are financial. We have health goals, but we also have experience goals. These are things like trips that we plan to go on with the family, some without, where we want to go, what we want to do while we're there. And if you look back at, I would never share this, but if you look back at the goals we set together year over year, you could see the year of COVID, all of our travel goals were crossed out. The year after, we didn't set any. This year, they were really limited. But what we did together is go back, revisit what we had set up, and we actually implemented and put into place our experience goals that we are already acting on so that this is all worth it. So that gratitude and that respect for the business is there, that appreciation. This does a few things. It allows me to not just go through the motions when I'm working. It allows me to go through them and still love the business because of what the business provides. And it allows me to know that I'm making maybe not the most anyone's ever made out of their life, but I'm making what I want out of my life because of the freedom that the business provides. And that just makes me feel a lot better about everything. And hopefully one day, hopefully it's 50 years, 60 years from now, but if I start to go and I need to have somebody bring me to the dentist, or if I totally lose my mind and I'm just making sounds because I don't know what's going on, at least then I would have enjoyed my life, because as far as we know, we only have one. So kind of a random episode, guys. Again, no e-commerce tactical stuff here, nothing about dropshipping. Again, we have plenty of videos for that on YouTube. I have a whole free training over at dropshipwebinar.com I can link up to. But the main point of this is just if you needed that snap that I got over these past couple of weeks, hopefully this does it for you. If it did, let me know in the comments. If you think, Anton, you're crazy, things have been normal, let me know that too. Again, maybe it's just me, but I wanted to share this in hopes that maybe it helps you. So as always, thank you. I appreciate you. If you are not subscribed to the channel, we recently crossed 100,000, which is awesome. I appreciate you. If you're not subscribed yet though, click that button, join us. Typically I post 1 to 2 new videos every week right here on youtube.com/dropshiplifestyle. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you, and we'll talk in the next one.